Over 12 billion coins are produced around the world every year, yet only a small fraction are created as special collector coins that can one day be worth millions of dollars. Among the leaders in producing these rare pieces is the United States Mint, known for crafting some of the most valuable coins in the world. Made from precious metals like gold and silver, these coins are carefully designed to honor important historical events, famous figures, and meaningful moments in history. Because of their high value and significance, the process behind making these coins has remained largely hidden from the public for many years. Before a single coin can be made, the metal used to produce it must first be taken from the earth. This journey begins deep underground in a silver mine. One of the most important is the Fresnillo mine in Mexico, which produces a large share of the world's silver. Workers extract nearly 2 million tons of mineral from this site every year. To reach the silver, miners use powerful drilling machines cooled with water to handle the heat created during drilling. These machines bore deep holes, usually about 4 meters long, into solid rock. Once the holes are ready, workers carefully place explosive charges inside. These explosives are extremely strong and can break large sections of rock in seconds, so they must be handled with great care. After placing the charges, workers leave the area for safety. Moments later, an explosion shatters the rock, turning it into loose debris. The next challenge is moving this material to the surface. Since the mine is very deep, heavy equipment is needed. An underground railway system carries the broken rock through long tunnels. Large trains transport thousands of tons of material along tracks that stretch for many kilometers until they reach the surface. Once above ground, the mineral is sent to massive crushing machines. These machines break the rock into much smaller pieces until it becomes a fine powder. This powder is then mixed with water and chemicals in large tanks to help separate the silver from the rest of the material. The mixture moves into flotation tanks, where air bubbles rise through the liquid. Silver particles stick to these bubbles and float to the surface, forming a thick foam layer. This foam contains a higher concentration of silver and is collected for further processing. Even at this stage, the material contains only about 1% silver, which is not pure enough for coin production. To increase purity, it is heated in a smelting furnace at temperatures above 1,300 degrees Celsius. The metal melts and impurities rise to the surface as a layer called slag, which is removed. This leaves metal that may contain around 70% silver. The molten metal is poured into molds to form large plates, each weighing about 400 kilograms. After cooling, these plates go through a final purification step called electrolytic refining. They are placed in a chemical solution, and a strong electric current pulls pure silver onto metal plates called cathodes. By the end of this process, the silver reaches about 99.9% purity, making it ready for use in products like high-quality coins. The Fresnillo mine produces a significant portion of the world's refined silver. Much of this silver is exported to other countries, including the United States. It is used together with silver from other sources, such as Canada. One of the places where this silver is transformed into coins is the United States Mint in Philadelphia. This facility is the largest coin production center in the United States. In both size and output, it is one of the most important minting locations in the world. The building itself is enormous. It covers an area similar to 5 football fields and contains more than 56,000 square meters of space. Every day, the facility produces millions of coins used across the country. Because the building stores large amounts of valuable metal, security is extremely strict. The facility has its own armed police force responsible for protecting gold, silver, and coins worth more than $100 billion. Most of the coins produced here are the ones people use every day. The Mint also creates special collector coins. These coins are often produced in limited numbers and feature detailed designs. Some of them may become extremely valuable over time. The process begins in the Mint's underground vaults, where pure silver bars are stored. Each bar weighs about 38 kilograms and can be worth more than $25,000. These bars, along with leftover silver from other production processes, are placed into a melting furnace. Inside the furnace, temperatures rise high enough to turn the solid metal into liquid. The molten silver flows into a mold that forms a long, continuous bar. This bar is about 4 centimeters thick and 12 centimeters wide. A cutting machine then divides the bar into individual pieces around 80 centimeters long. These metal pieces are sent through a rolling mill. The mill contains 2 large rollers that press the metal with enormous force. Each pass through the rollers makes the metal flatter and thinner. The metal must pass through the rollers many times. With each pass, the thickness decreases. Eventually, the metal becomes a long strip with the correct thickness needed for coins. Another rolling machine finishes the process by adjusting the strip to the exact thickness required. Once the strip reaches the proper size, it moves to the next stage of production. At the same time, artists and designers are working on the appearance of the coin. Using modern computer software, they create detailed designs based on artwork, photographs, or historical images. After the final design receives approval from the Mint's leadership, the engraving process begins. An artist first creates a large model of the coin design using clay. This model is usually several times larger than the final coin. The large model makes it easier to include fine details in the design. Once completed, the model is transferred to a computer-controlled engraving machine. This machine carves the design into a solid steel tool known as the master punch. Even with advanced machinery rotating at very high speeds, carving the design can take many hours. The master punch contains a raised version of the design. Coins require the opposite form so that the image appears correctly when stamped onto the metal. To achieve this, the Mint uses powerful presses. The press pushes the master punch against another steel cylinder with enormous pressure, sometimes more than 90 tons. This creates a die containing a negative version of the design. These dies are then installed in coin presses located in the minting room. Before the coins can be stamped, the silver strips must be cut into small round discs called blanks. Large punching machines cut the blanks from the metal strip. The leftover metal is collected and returned to the furnace to be melted and reused. The blanks are then heated in a furnace to soften the metal. This heating process makes the metal easier to shape during stamping. After heating, the blanks pass through cooling tanks, drying machines, and long conveyor systems. Next, a special machine presses the outer edge of each blank to create the raised rim found on coins. The blanks are also cleaned in large containers filled with water, cleaning solutions, and small steel balls. The balls gently polish the surface of each blank and remove any marks. Workers then carefully dry the blanks to prevent water spots from forming on the metal. During the minting process, silver can become brittle, which means it may crack under pressure. To prevent this, the metal is heated again at certain stages to restore its strength and flexibility. Finally, the blanks reach the coin press. Each press contains 2 dies, one for the front of the coin and one for the back. The lower die remains still while the upper die moves downward. With enormous force, the dies strike the blank and stamp the design onto both sides. For collector coins, the process may involve 2 strikes to ensure every detail appears clearly. The press uses around 50 tons of pressure to form a single coin. Each machine can produce about 12 collector coins per minute. Although these coins cost about $50 each to produce and sell, millions are created every year. In total, the Mint produces more than 10 million collector coins, annually generating hundreds of millions of dollars. Once finished, the coins are carefully packaged and sent to banks, collectors, and jewelry stores around the world. Over $40 billion worth of perfume is produced every year, filling millions of bottles that capture the art of scent. But behind each drop of fragrance lies a complex process, from harvesting flowers in the fields to distilling their oils and crafting the perfect blend. In today's video, we'll take you inside one of the most famous perfume regions in the world to see how luxurious fragrances are made from start to finish. The basic components of perfume are essential oils, natural extracts from aromatic plants, fruits, and flowers diluted with alcohol. Just like fine wine, these oils are continuously tested and blended as they mature. In ancient times, perfumes often contained animal substances such as castor glands or ambergris from whales. Today, production is far more refined and sustainable. One of the most important ingredients is lavender oil with its vibrant blue-purple flowers, provides oil used in countless beauty and wellness products. Although it smells wonderful, harvesting lavender is not easy work. To determine the perfect harvest time, growers examine the flower's color and oil content. Timing is crucial. Harvest lasts only a few weeks, and the flowers must be cut early in the morning when their oil concentration is highest. Large harvesters move through the fields, gently straightening the plants before slicing their stems with oscillating blades about 15 centimeters long. The machine lifts each stem upright and cuts it cleanly near the base, like a stylist trimming hair. The freshly cut stems fall onto a conveyor belt that carries them into a trailer. A rotating screw pushes them toward a truck driving alongside. The air fills with the sweet scent of lavender. But turning these flowers into a bottled essence requires true craftsmanship. When the trailer is full, it heads to the distillery. Just like making alcohol from grain, lavender must be distilled to extract its essential oil. Workers load several tons of stems into a huge stainless steel, still called an albaic. The lavender is packed tightly to eliminate air pockets, which increases oil yield. Once the still is filled to capacity, it's sealed and connected to a steam boiler. The boiler heats water to produce low-pressure steam, which enters the bottom of the albaic. Over about 15 minutes, the steam rises, heating the lavender as it travels upward. After half an hour, the steam bursts the tiny oil glands in the petals, releasing their aromatic essence. The vapor, now filled with lavender aroma, moves through a condensation pipe, where it's cooled and turned back into liquid. Inside the condenser, cold water runs through an aluminum tube, transforming the steam into a mixture of oil and water. Because lavender oil is lighter, it floats to the surface and is carefully collected. It takes about 500 tons of fresh flowers to produce just 50 kilograms of lavender oil. Like fine whiskey, this oil must age for several months in metal drums before it's ready for blending. Once mature, the lavender oil joins thousands of other aromatic oils. In the blending process, expert perfumers known as noses create new fragrances by combining essential oils in specific ratios. The human nose contains around 10 square centimeters of smell receptors, and a single perfume can include up to 50 ingredients. The concentrated oils alone are too strong, so they are diluted with high-proof alcohol. As the alcohol evaporates, it spreads the fragrance through the air. Perfume is usually applied to pulse points, such as the wrists and neck, where blood vessels are close to the skin. The warmth helps release the scent, gradually acting like tiny fragrance pumps. Despite all the high-tech equipment, the perfumer's sense of smell remains the most valuable tool. These artists spend years training their noses to recognize hundreds or even thousands of different aromas. Samples are tested repeatedly, and formulas are adjusted until the ideal balance is achieved. When the final scent meets expectations, the recipe is sent to a large-scale perfume distillery for mass production. This facility covers over 20,000 square meters, housing mixing tanks, maceration vats, and automated filling lines. Before production begins, every raw material is tested to ensure purity and authenticity. Some ingredients cost more than $2,000 per kilogram, so precision is essential. A process called gas chromatography analyzes each substance by vaporizing it and passing it through a detector, which identifies components down to a nanogram. The perfumer uses this data to confirm quality and adjust formulations. Using highly accurate scales, essential oils and fixatives are weighed to the milligram to create the perfume concentrate. This concentrate is then blended with alcohol and allowed to mature. When the scent has fully merged, the mixture is cooled and filtered to produce a clear, pure, and intense perfume. Samples are tested in the laboratory for density and volume consistency. Everything is measured carefully: weight in grams, volume in milliliters to ensure uniform filling in every bottle. Meanwhile, the glass bottles are created from silica sand, soda ash, and limestone. These materials are mixed and melted at high temperatures into a molten mass, then poured into custom molds that shape the perfume bottle. After molding, the glass cools slowly to prevent cracking. Some bottles undergo an additional tempering process to improve strength. The cooled bottles are cut, polished, and decorated according to the brand's design. Once ready, they are sent to the filling line, where the final fragrance is bottled and sealed with a spray cap. Each bottle receives a batch code for traceability in case of future quality checks. Finally, the bottles are labeled, wrapped, and packed by hand. These perfumes are exclusive products made for high-end markets around the world. Each fragrance carries the expertise, precision, and artistry of generations of perfumers from Grossi.